Hey everyone, Joe here. Welcome to part 3 of the Mixing a Rock Song from Start to Finish series. Today we're going to be looking at mixing the bass. So in part 1 we looked at how to set up your DAW for a mix, how to get the levels balanced across the mix, and then in part 2 we did a rough mix of the drums. So we're going through them in turn. I'm going to be doing the bass today. The bass has been DI'd, which is where the bass is plugged directly through a DI box into the interface and recorded like that rather than using an amp. We've got a solid bass response though, some nice dynamic playing. So the goal here is just to get a solid punchy bass, nice rich low end, and retaining that natural dynamic playing, as well as also maybe giving it a little bit of grit as well, because it's a very clean sound you get through a DI and we're mixing a rock song, so I might want to give it a little bit of grit there. Also, it's really important, now we've done the drums, we want to get the kick and the bass working nicely together. They don't want to be masking each other, they want to work really nicely, so I'll be taking a look at those two together as well. So first let's have a listen to what the bass sounds like on its own. Okay, it's got a solid low end. Nice playing, it's just sounding a little bit dull at the moment. And then with the rest of the track. Can you see me? Okay. So I'm going to get this on a loop, and then we're going to go straight in for the EQ. Again, like I said in the first part, I'm going to be trying to rely mainly on stock plugins just to show you how we can get a good mix without spending too much money. Right, I'm going to cut a bit of the low end out with a high pass filter just right at the bottom. And also, let's have a listen to it with the kick actually. There's a lot of 60 hertz, big 60 hertz response around that area on the kick. So I'm actually going to bring it down a little bit in that area, just a couple of dB, and then with DI bass you often get that kind of low mid to mid boxiness to it, so I'm going to dial off a bit of that around 300 or so. Yeah, doesn't sound great. I'm going quite heavy on that. And as always, we're bringing the output back up so that the EQ, when comparing between bypassed and on, you're not getting any bias where the level changes. You're just hearing the tonal changes. Okay, let's get a compressor on there. I like to use the 1176 clone on bass, and I should have a preset there. That's one of my own presets. A little bit heavy on the gain reduction. We don't want to completely crush it. But we do want to keep it tamed. Okay. I'm going to bring the drums in. And now I want to give that bass response a little help. Around 80 hertz. Bring it down. I think the bass can go up a little bit in general, actually. Yeah. And a little boost around 2K just to help it bite, help it cut through. Okay, let's see the difference. Yeah. A bit boxy. It's much nicer. It's going to need a little bit more help on the low end. And also I want to give it a bit more grit. So I'm going to whack out the decapitator from Sound Toys. You could use any distortion plugin for this. This just happens to be my favourite. I think I'm going to start with a preset there. Okay, a bit more drive. It's increasing the volume, so I'm going to bring the output down a little. Bring the mix down to get that original signal coming through as well. A little bit more drive, that's nice. And there we go. It's helped the low end a little bit. It's given it a bit more beef. So the next thing I want to do is add a little bit more compression onto the bass, but I'm going to sidechain it to the kick. So the compressor will only be kicking in when the kick hits, which should just help the two of them work nicely together. So let's get rid of all the other drums right now. Just get the kick and the bass going. And then I'm going to send the kick, either one of the mics, doesn't matter. It's more about when it comes in rather than which one. Send the kick to a bus 50. Then I'm going to get a compressor on the bass. Let's just go for the default Pro Tools compressor. And there you go. You can set that. You can key that compressor to that bus that we just sent the kick to, and then sidechain, link it to that bus. So you can see the compressor is only kicking in on the bass on each of the kicks. A little bit harsh, you can hear it really bringing that level down on the bass. We just want this to be kind of subtle. Fast attack and release, so it just goes in and out little dips. Don't want it to be noticeable. Okay. I'm actually going to brighten up the kick a little bit while I'm here. Even though we're going through these instruments in order, there are going to be times when you need to make tweaks to the previous instruments to make everything work together. So where's my kick? I think, yeah. Oh, no, we don't want that. We want one of these. Just to help it cut through. Okay. Yeah, that's nice. Right. The bass is sounding much better. There's just one other thing I want to do. I want to give it a little bit of extra help on the low end. I'm going to use the R bass, which Waves actually gave away for free at the time. I don't think they're still giving it away for free, but it's a really nice plug-in for boosting the low-end harmonics. Let's go a bit lighter on there. Keep the frequency around the same as the boost that we made. Yeah. Not too much. Tiny bit more. Yeah. Solid. And that's about all I want to do with the bass, but let's hear it in context with the rest of the mix. I think it needs to come up a little bit now. Yeah. Really solid, punchy response with the kick as well. And there we have it. That is the bass mixed for now. We will be going back and making tweaks across the bass and the drums as we go along. But we got a nice rough mix of the bass and the song is starting to take shape. So in the next part, part 4, we're going to be looking at mixing the guitars. I'm going to do the rhythm guitars, the lead guitar, and that'll be all the main instruments, and then following that'll be the vocals. So if you want to be notified as soon as part 4 releases, just hit that subscribe button and feel free to get involved in the comment section below. Let me know that one thing that you really struggle with when mixing bass, and I'll see if I can chip in and help out. But until then, I'll see you next time.